Hello and welcome to the Bear Pen for our very special fourth epilogue of Blood on the Bayou, Book One. I am Aries or Adrian, and I am your storyteller for this wonderful vampire story this evening. First of all, I really want to take the opportunity to thank you all so much for being a patron of ours and helping us make these shows, especially getting the early access here. It is something we like to do here for all of our patrons, and it means a lot to us because you help us make a lot of amazing content. And for those of you that are viewing this on YouTube in the future, again, thank you so much for all your subs and your likes and your shares. That means the world to us as well. And if you feel like getting access to any of these early access things or special episodes or such, you can jump on the Patreon as well. And then you wouldn't have to wait an entire month to get more of these amazing people that I am blessed to storytell for week after week. So, this epilogue, we have two wonderful people here, which I'm going to go ahead and let them introduce themselves at this point in time. Our very special guest for today will start with you, Brandy.
Hi, I'm Brandy Rose. You guys might know me from the City of Mist campaign, Mekong Delta Blues, where I play Castellaris, or played, I guess by now, Castellaris. Happy to be with the Bear Pen, and other than that, you guys might recognize me from my shows, which have, if you're watching on YouTube, just come out with the third show, Eat Crit, Cringe Warning, and Cam Girl Interrupted, that you can get anywhere you can get your podcasts. And I promote this show as well as all of my others on my Twitter at the Brandy Rose.
Excellent. Yes, you should definitely go ahead and check all of those amazing things out because Brandy is a very wonderful performer and a cool person to talk to. So make sure you check out all that amazing content. And then, of course, the man who needs very little introduction because you're on the channel all the time and I'm on your channel too. And it's wonderful to have you in my life. Our good friend Kira.
I am Kara 858. Yes, it's always wonderful being here. I'm so excited for this session, this epilogue, to see where Sora takes it. Of course, I am playing the lovable, the Sour Patch Kids himself, Sora, for this little boy who has been going through quite a bit of experiences in his newfound coterie. As for yours truly, of course, you can find me on Twitter at the Kira858. You will also can find me on Twitch at Kira858, where I have multiple shows, including Riverwood Academy for which has like a young adult magic school type vibe. Lords of Faerun, where Adrian's actually playing, where we have Elisa Pearl and a couple of other individuals. And for those on YouTube, like I said, you would be aware that around this time frame we'll have a few new projects coming out. One of the big projects, of course, will be Gods of Color, which is a imagine Percy Jackson in a D&D type world. So if you ever wanted to see demigods on the way to godhood, you're going to love this. I will keep it a secret right now who's all going to be in the cast. But we'll just say you would definitely recognize a few of the individuals there. And I am DMing, so this is going to be a very interesting experience. Also, we have another campaign coming out called the Spy Game, which of course features a couple other individuals as well, utilizing the Spy Game TTRPG system. So if of course you like Fast and Furious, G.I. Joe, you're also going to love that. And yeah, I'm on the grind 24/7. I cannot wait to bring all of these projects to you.
That is really, really cool. And again, I am Aries or Adrian. You can find me on Twitter at the Adrian Bear, and I'm a storyteller and DM here at the Bear Pen, and was the MC of City of Mist here. And we have a couple of projects coming out that those of you on YouTube will actually be watching now, but those of you who are viewing this on Patreon will be, getting a little bit of a heads up that we do have these projects starting. So we have a Werewolf the Apocalypse series starting soon. So you can look forward to that as well and get another view on supernaturals that is not kindred related. All right. Well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into our intro song. We'll see you soon. and welcome back. The events that took place at the end of Book One of Blood of the Bayou were roughly a month ago now. It is safe to say that our coterie's resident salubri has likely been struggling with a number of the things which he witnessed that night in the swamp. With attacks that had happened upon the kindred and other supernaturals within the city, Sora has been made very aware of his limitations and his strengths. And there's times like these where Sora is want to be in contact with his Mola, a Bruja by the name of Camille. Around 2 hours or so travel to the north of the city of New Orleans in Louisiana, there is a wildlife protected area known as the Tanika Hills. It is home to waterfalls and forests and some hills and perhaps even some hidden caves. During the daytime, families would go for hikes in the area. There are campgrounds. Deer season is quite plentiful in the area when it comes around. Good spot for hunting. Being that it is private property, but also being that it is more relegated to the areas of wilderness, one would think that kindred would be reticent to spend time in areas such as this. However, for the past 2 days, Camille has taken Sora on a journey of survival, a journey of strength, a journey to help him find a bit more of the skills that he might need to survive. Because in these nights, one can never be too prepared. And so for the past 2 days, both of you have been on a survival trip in these wooded areas. Sora being one who is used to staying indoors most of the time with his art supplies. Perhaps you're finding a little bit hard going being instructed by Camille how to dig into the earth, how to find shelter and necessary protection for daylight hours if you ever find yourself actually trapped out in the wilderness. How do you feel that Sora, after 2 days of this, after sleeping deep within the earth as much as possible, or in hidden caves, away from the sunlight, away from the comforts of televisions and screens and your art supplies, without the protection of Lagatha or Bernard? How do you feel Sora would be feeling after 2 days as you both rise for a new evening of your trek and journey.
Well, so that was going to be my first question was if Lagatha and Bernard was going to be around for the trip because that would make things feel a little bit more safer for those who don't know. Lagatha is his partner in crime, a half husky, half German, no, half husky, half I think it was Rottweiler. Yes, mixed. Um, and so that's what his partner in crime. His other Bernard is a cougar that he freed from the zoo. So safe to say, he had some good folks around. So I feel like this is a twofold question. One, it's a struggle for certain. Um, I'm hoping he at least has his backpack with him that has his art supplies, so therefore he can at least be able to pull out with a sketchbook and do some drawing maybe when he like sees some animals and more along those lines. But just being out in the open when he is pretty much a neat, you know what I mean, like nice and likes to be placed inside his room and just draw. Uh, nervous to say the least. Is testing all of his composure. However, on the opposite end of the spectrum, he also has that extra feeling of safety here versus anywhere we has with the coterie due to the fact that he's with Camille. So I think he is enjoying this aspect more than any of his time. So it's a really weird dichotomy because of the fact he's with Camille, and so there's like probably the most enjoyment there that he's had in a long time. But it's also placed in this environment that he probably almost absolutely despised. It's just like a really weird experience.
As the both of you begin to rise for the evening, you can both go ahead and make a rouse check for me. Brandy, Camille, just roll 1d10. You are looking for 6 or above.
Yeah, that's about right. Uh, you know what? Do I need to use this now? Yeah, I'm going to use this now. Uh, so your boy failed, so I'm going to use my Gokada satisfy the hunger, which is his classic sloop read nature where when he feels the beast rise up and wanting to thirst more for blood, he's able to calm it for a session and just keeps it. He uses third eye to keep himself at peace. So when he wakes up, he definitely senses it and then takes a deep breath, meditates, and puts it back under control.
How about Camille this evening? Is she hungrier or not?
Mm, I think for the most part, Camille wakes up. I rolled a 6, so not, I mean, it's a pass, but it's like, it's fine. So I think wakes up a little hungry, but after, a century of dealing with all of this and now being a little bit more in her element of like survival, teaching Sora, being away from an active battle, so no active stress. I think she's okay-ish, but can feel a little bit peckish, like it's coming on.
Indeed. You have been out here for a bit, and even though you have the standard hunger that kindred always possess within themselves, you are able to maintain your composure for now, but a lot of these skills are a lot of the skills that you are wanting to impart to Sora are very much based in survival and instinct. And perhaps you get the idea that for this evening, before you begin the rest of your journey, you might want to go on a hunt with him.
Mm. Oh, do we role play the hunt? No, out of character question. Cool.
Yes, you can begin chatting with your protege.
Sora, wake up. Like taps him, just a little tap tap on the head. It's probably a little heavier handed than it should be, but this is about as gentle as it gets.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm not supposed to ache, but it still aches. Why am I aching? I think I broke a butt cheek. Oh, and he kind of like turns to the side. Kind of sits up. He says, "Okay. Uh, good morning, afternoon, night is night. Okay, it has to be night because otherwise we would be dead. Um, are you hungry?
We're going to go hunt. You can't break a butt cheek. Get up. You're fine. This is what your body feels like when you're using it.
It's just like I just exercised my wrist with my pencil. I mean, but I guess I was wasn't ready. Okay. Where are we going? Where are we going?
We're gonna
You
head
have
a little bit deeper down into the woods, and we're just going to. I'm gonna see how you hunt, and then we'll
me?
correct where we need to.
Oh boy. Just a quick disclaimer. Normally I have a Lagatha who does all of the hunting because Lagatha is really good when it comes to hunting. But I could give it a try.
You will give it a try. We
Mhm.
we will give it a try together. I'll be there. But
Hello,
you
and
need to
welcome
learn how to hunt
to
on your
Ep-
own because you might end up in a situation like this without Lagatha, but you might also end up in a situation like this without me.
Don't say that.
I said you might. I'm 100 something years old. Ideally, you'll be around just as long and longer. I cannot be there 24/7. So get up, make sure you tidy your space, discipline, tidy your
Mhm.
space. I'll give you 5 minutes. Then we will meet over by that tree.
He nods because his space is full blown artistic chaos. I mean, like as you can imagine, you see his room. When folks went to his room, it's always like just he knows where everything is because his brain has those connections per se. But when Michaela and others decide to just dive into his room, which they can't anymore now that he has his Bank of America door. When they try to dive into his room, they can't. They just see just chaos everywhere, and so definitely his sleeping space and arrangement is built fit the exact same way. Just like stuff over here, pencils over there. I don't know. Just maybe. Oh, you definitely have an iPad. iPad to the side probably has no signal. Oh, he would take out his phone though. Does his phone have signal at this location?
not right here, as in this particular section that you had chosen to camp for the previous night, it had been fairly deep into the woods in a slight bit of a dip, which is there aren't quite valleys and such here, as these are hills, not mountains, but it is a bit of a dip. And with the trees here, you're not quite high enough to get signal.
T-Mobile, he pulls out his phone and he just looks at it. He says, T-Mobile, you have failed me twice in less than a month. You know what? This is it. And he just, he just kind of like stabs his pants and he just tries to make it as organized. I feel like the role should be responsible for this because I don't think he's really that good when it comes to keeping it, but I couldn't think of what that role may be. But he's
Roll to
Indeed.
pass my standards is what
yeah.
that is. It's like a convinced check. Is this enough?
You can give me a wits and survival roll for covering your tracks and
yeah.
tidying up the space which you have created for yourselves, as this was not simply waking up in the middle of the forest. This had been digging a deep enough hole and crawling out through the earth to wake up for this evening. So
Okay,
you have a hole to fill in.
a hole to fill in. Oh my. Okay. Well, we shall see how this goes. Yep. That was one success. Yeah.
Camille, you are a few meters away, waiting for Sora by the tree, perhaps leaning against it, observing his attempts at covering his tracks. He has a ways to go.
Kick
I
a little
know.
more. Just kick a little more dirt. Pat it down. Don't make it too flat. You're making it too. It's just she's like not backseat digging, but she is occasionally throwing out a. If you press it too flat, it looks artificial, or looks away and is like, "Don't forget your iPad." Then like looks away again to like stop herself from micromanaging how he's doing it because he has to learn and he has to learn and notice these things by himself. But also until he gets there, it's just like a few helpful hesitant. And then at some point after about 5 minutes where she said, "This is your time," she's like, "Okay, it's fine. That is a start. This like looks him dead in the eye. This is your baseline. Okay. This is the minimum of how you tidy your space after you've used it. So we aim for this and higher in the future. Now let's go."
Baseline. Okay. So in terms of a grade, I'm guessing that's a C.
And she gives him this like slightly warmer smile and goes, "C plus."
Okay. And then he kind of like slips on his backpack and starts getting ready to go. Where are we going?
All right. So we're going to walk to where the forest is a little bit thicker because when you're hunting, you don't want to just walk in and announce yourself to your prey. Have you hunted alone before? Ever? Like when in the beginning?
No, I've always had either Lagatha or Leia.
Okay. It'll take like a second. Just remember Sora's sire and just nods and goes, "Okay." So we're speaking now because we're not in the area we're going to hunt yet. Once we're in there, neither of us says anything out loud anymore. And she starts to explain to him some hand signals. It's like forward, left, stop, small things. She's keeping it very basic and very simple because this is his first hunt. And she doesn't want to like go full, operations on him because she knows he won't be able to take it all at once. So very simple directional ones, stop being the one she's impressing on him the most, as in, and stop. And she presses stop means stop talking, stop moving, stop breathing. And then shows him, just basic things like how to look. What does that mean? And she explains, so, okay. She does a command for stop, even though they can still talk, just to get him used to it. He goes, okay. Over there is where the forest starts to get very thick, relatively speaking. We are going to go in and we're going to try to be stealthy. So you're going to stop breathing. And I know we don't, need to, but we do. Let's have it. So you're going to stop. You're going to start to try and smell. You're going to smell a lot of things when you try to focus your scent. But I want you to smell. Quick question. They can drink animal blood, right?
Yeah, you only
Yes.
can.
They only do animal blood, right? Okay. I
I
figured.
only do. I only do. I'm not sure, but I forgot about your character sheet. But Sora can only eat from animals. He
Okay.
has a farmer flaw.
Cool. Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
At
Right.
Camille's age
Mhm.
and her generation, you do still prefer to hunt for animals. However, your needs require more animal blood to satiate the hunger than Saurus do.
Right. So he'd probably be cool with like several or one or two small animals, whereas like I have to take down like a deer.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So when we go in there, and she sizes him up a little bit again, and you're going to be looking for, this is something a little bit nice for a beginner. You're going to be looking for some rabbits. Okay. They're going to be very close to the ground. They're very fast, not as fast as us. They're very fast. And they have very good hearing. So you need to be moving very quickly and ideally not as much on the ground. And she looks him over as if like trying to assess how agile he is. Probably not coming
Ooh.
up. Or are you very agile?
So it ranges. It depends
Okay.
upon what we're looking at. If we're talking about dexterity and athletics, this dude can dodge everything under the sun. He likes to, because he doesn't want to get hit. He doesn't want to
Right.
take damage. But in terms of like, that should be the same role, right? If I'm like running after somebody, it would still be dexterity athletics, right?
Yes. And you, with your keen eyes, Camille, are able to tell that, yes, Sora would be able to be very fast and be able to get out of the way of things very quickly. But you've noticed in his demeanor, and especially with how he tidied up the campsite, that he does not have as much silence about him as you would like.
So you just have to be faster to make up for it. Okay. So she gestures. She's like, you are going to be aiming to get, let's start with 2 rabbits. And then we'll see how hungry you are after that.
Can I just talk to them?
You,
I can talk to them.
if you make a noise to them, we are predators.
Oh.
So if you talk to them, they're going to leave. This is a hunt. We're not making friends. The rabbits are going to be dead after this. If they aren't dead, you're going to be hungry. And if you're hungry, then you're weak. And if you're weak, you're in danger. Okay? Make sure to take care of your hunger on a regular basis. That's why you need to hunt. I know normally you can rely on your help, but you need to be able to do this on your own. Because if you don't do this on your own, you could end up in a situation where you could be in danger because you can't take care of yourself and your needs. And if you're in danger, you might put your friends in danger, and you don't want that, right? Okay. So I'm going to go first. You're going to watch me. Now, somebody else might not be able to see this. You'll be able to see this. I'm going to go a little further away from the area I directed you from, because I can hear some. Can I say that? I can hear some deer there. Do I need to roll?
You would be able to say that with confidence with Camille's skill set. Yes.
I can hear some deer over by the creek over there. That's my game. After I do that, and you've watched me do that, I'm going to watch you go after the rabbits. I think I can hear a burrow about there. And she points in like a little bit, not quite the opposite, but very much like further apart. So her hunting shouldn't disturb his hunting ground too much. They won't have to go too much further. So she says, okay, keep your eyes on me.
Okay.
And then at full speed, so fast that hopefully, your average being can't see it. She zips off to the area she said. Do I roll?
We'll have you roll in one moment. The evening, as Camille and Sora are both earlier risers than many other kindred, has begun to turn into much darker shades of night as you are in the forest. Many kindred do not possess the ability to see in darkness without supernatural help. One might say this is a cosmic joke of some kinds, as apex predators should be able to naturally see in the dark. However, some of the gifts that are passed down in the blood allow kindred to do so. Before Camille takes off, you notice that her eyes shift from her regular color to a more red tinged hue as she activates Eyes of the Beast, which is the ability that would allow her to see in the darkness. Camille, you can go ahead and roll 8 dice for me, one of which will be the hunger dice. So keep that one. So essentially roll that one first and tell me, or at least choose one of the dice to be your hunger dice, and then you roll that. You're looking for, again, 6 and above.
Right. Oh wait, so which one do you, okay, 10. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And then all right. So I rolled 8 d10s. I got a 4, a 7, an 8, a 1, a 9, a 1, a 5, and a 4. So just to, which one of them do you want to be the
We'll take the first one as your hunger dice, right? So
that was a
you are
4.
you're not activating the blood, so you do not get hungrier in this endeavor. You are simply trying to be stealthy. If you had rolled a 1 or a 0 on the hunger dice, different effects could happen depending on what happens there. So how many of the dice in total were 6 or above?
So the total is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them were oh, sorry, actually 6 and above, it's 1, 2, and 3. 3 were 6 and above, and then 4 were under 6. And then 2 were ones.
All right, that is fine. It is a different system than B20, so ones do not cancel out successes here, which is a good thing. 3 successes. You see that Camille is moving quite rapidly, but she is also moving quite silently as she is moving through the forest. Sora, do you have means of keeping track of her in the
Yes.
darkness?
The closest that I have is Heightened Senses, which I definitely activate on a regular occasion, being the paranoid individual that I am. So, so I would definitely like to turn that on. Do I think sight would be better for this circumstance? I'm thinking.
Mm.
Yeah. So I would
Yes,
use.
it
I
is
would use
not
it.
a perfect sight that comes to you in the darkness here. It is helpful, not as helpful as Eyes of the Beast would be or Oblivion's sight, but it is definitely helpful. So go ahead and make a wits and awareness roll for me, and you can
Okay.
add in your dice for heightened senses.
That's a bit better of a pull. That's for sure. Okay. Uh, Ooh, that's a correct. 5 successes.
All right. In the darkness, once you activate your supernatural sight, some of the shapes and a bit of the colors come a little bit more to life, which allow you to just make out the movements of Camille. And you follow on a respectable distance as quietly as you can so as to witness how she takes down this animal, but so as not to disturb it. keeping downwind as Camille has told you to do before in these situations. Camille, you are waiting for the right moment to strike at the animal which you have seen, a deer that has come up to the creek and is beginning to drink some water. You wait until its head is down, as this is the best opportunity. And very quickly, with surprising deftness, you find yourself latching on to the deer. It struggles for just a moment before your fangs sink into its neck. The bite of kindred is something which even animals find to be soothing and an enjoyable experience, even as the vitae drains down your throat and you are able to slake your hunger. Never completely, as only the full death of a mortal would be able to completely sate your hunger. But for demonstration purposes of how to approach the hunt, this sufficed. Sora, having witnessed this, you have an understanding of, all right, quiet movements, quick movements, waiting for the opportune time. How would you like to proceed?
So his intelligence is a 3, so he's pretty smart. So I think he was able to grasp the concepts that he was seeing. And I think he tries to take mental images of the hunt in itself. Her body language, her body positioning as she approached, prowled forward, and essentially dived into the deer themselves. And I think as he continues to replay that image in his head, he's going to try to replicate that to the best that he can towards the rabbits that he kind of mentioned off. Now, so here's the question. As a farmer, technically my role is a composer and animal kin. But I'm not sure, does this fit along with that, or would this be a different role style to use?
This will be a slightly different role style to use.
That's what I was
The
thinking.
first thing that I'd like you to do is to see how quiet you can be. So make me a dexterity and stealth roll, please.
Uh, you know what? You know what? He's going to try really hard. So he's going to arouse the blood to give himself a couple of extra dice. He doesn't want to mess up too bad. Okay, that was much better. I did not get hungry on that one.
Excellent.
Okay, so that increases by dice by 2. Okay, yes, that's much better in terms of a pool to use. Here we go. Oh, another crit. 4, 5, 6. 6 successes.
You are indeed a fast learner.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense. Makes sense. His intelligence kind of repeating it to his head, and then he's trying to replicate that exact movement. So long as he has visual representation, it makes sense.
And the added weight of wanting to make a good impression on your mentor is definitely working to your benefit here. Camille had told you that she had heard rabbits to a certain direction. Switching your, would you like to switch your heightened senses to hearing?
Yes,
Or are you going to
definitely.
keep? All right.
Here, definitely hearing.
The darkness is a little bit more oppressive for a moment,
Mhm.
but you see if you can pick up the sounds of the rabbits. So go ahead and make that perception and awareness roll for me.
Okay. One, two, three successes for that.
3 successes. You close your eyes for a moment because the darkness is already around you, and it might help you focus anyway a little bit more just in your hearing. You hear the sounds of the running creek. You hear a couple of night birds, crickets, and you eventually hear some rustling, just not too far away from you, about 30 or 40 feet. And you begin moving silently in that direction, using your ears to guide you as much as possible until eventually you do come upon a small family of rabbits. They seem to be out and about, their eyes constantly scanning the trees for owls and other creatures. But they have found some mushrooms which they are able to eat, a small patch that has grown out of a fallen tree log, which they seem to be enjoying this evening. There are currently 3 of them there. For this roll, you can make me a. We're going to make a dexterity and survival.
Yeah, at least aroused. So okay. Um. Ooh, all right. This is going to be interesting for him because he has always been used to seeing the animals like already dead. So I think seeing the animals alive and especially a family of them at that, um, I would say there's probably a quick pause because he's not used to seeing them before they take place. It's kind of like when individuals like um look at animals, and they're not used to thinking about like, the meat because you just get it from the grocery store. But then often they'll just when somebody actually gets to experience like the whole ordeal, what happens at a farm, a lot of times they kind of like change their mind or their viewpoint of meat. I kind of feel like Sora sees this and like just for a second, it's just like, oh, this is where it starts. Thinking inside say he doesn't say anything, but there's definitely interesting realization. But of course, he's still going to move forward. But I could definitely tell there's going to be a hint of regret from this. I think, but we'll see. Okay, and you said stealth and dexterity, right? All
In
right.
dexterity and survival.
Oh, survival. Yeah. Dexterity, survival. Oh, yeah. So it's still just what that. Okay. All right. I'm just going. I want to use willpower just to be on the safe side. Okay, much better. 4 successes.
You wait for a moment as some of the rabbits are seemingly beginning to finish up their evening feast of these mushrooms, which are growing out of a log, and beginning to slowly hop away. But just as one heads off and 2 are straggling behind, you rapidly and quickly run in and manage to grab them. You have 2 rabbits. They're kind of limp as a cat would be when you pick them up by the scruff of the neck. Their noses are twitching. What would you like to do?
So he's not hungry. So he grabs the rabbits, and then he's gonna he grabs them by the scruff, the side, and he's gonna make his way over to where Camille is, kind of like holding them up, saying, I did it. I'm
Mhm.
I'm not hungry though. Can I let them go?
No, you have to be able to do this. You do not, and she takes like a second. You can let one of them go.
Okay. He kind of puts one
But
down.
which one?
He just like he kind of looks. He puts down the one in his left hand.
Mhm.
Be free. Um, and then he looks at this one. He looks at the one in his right hand that looks at Camille one last time, and then he just whispers. He says, I'm sorry. And then squeak. And he does his best. I mean, he won't do anything because he's already at one hunger, but he just bites it and then sucks what he can. Off we go. And then as he puts it down, he's just like, "Hmm, that felt weird."
Well, you've never done it before. New things often feel weird, but it's important not only that I know that you can do this, or you know, for the time I might not be with you, but it is important that you learn where your food comes from. Because when you have help hunt for it, it's the same thing. You don't feel bad about that. You can't feel bad about this. The rabbit will go into the earth, its body will decompose, and it will create food for the next and the next. Yes, this is a very Lion King moment. This, this is the circle of life. Now, we may be mortal in sorts, but we are still a part of the circle of life. And you did let one go, which I will not allow you to do again. But for your first time, she puts like a hand on his shoulder and goes, "You did really well. I'm proud of you." And she, pulls her hand back and was like, "Okay, that's enough emotion for now. We gotta keep going."
Camille, there was another reason why you specifically chose this area of woodlands. There's something you've been looking for out here, which you check in on time to time. And you had found potential tracks close to where you had slain the deer.
So I investigate the well, I get a little closer. I, give him his pat that this conversation is over. And I turn back to where the deer carcass is laying. And I go towards the tracks again. And I focus on my hearing. That'll probably help me more. And I lean into the tracks and I try to see and sense from the area how fresh they are. And I think it would be a roll to investigate the tracks to follow them. Right.
Yeah.
1d10.
So you can roll. You can roll 6 dice. Include one of the first one that comes up will be your hunger dice.
Does Sora see you noticing another pair of tracks by chance?
You would notice that Camille has sort of come down to the ground a bit and is looking at something. So you, to your untrained eyes, you're not really sure what you're looking at.
Mm.
Doesn't really seem like much to you, but you can have a look and see if you can make anything out if you'd like.
I was just more curious. You probably just asked like, Camille, what's going on?
Okay, so she'd put up the finger for wait.
Mm.
The first one that I rolled was a 1, and then I got a
Okay.
4, a 10, a 6, a 4, and a 10. So if 6 and up was success, I got 1, 2, I got 3 successes.
You did. 3 successes. You can tell that these tracks are possibly half day, and they are heading more towards where one of the actual hills in these hills are. But it's what you were looking for.
So I motioned to Sora to come with me, and I go, okay. For a bit, we can talk again. You can talk again. Camille is very happy to just follow the tracks, but she knows that Sora is probably going to be more at ease if he can at least voice his thoughts out loud at her, to her. So she tells him it's okay to talk again. But we are now going to head in this direction. There's something there that I think that I've been looking for, and that's all you need to know right now. And they head in that direction, and I let Sora talk at me, to me, for a bit, and then as small talk or stream of consciousness dies down, I pipe in with a side glance, and so about what happened. She gives him a look of very specifically talking about what he's recently gone through. And she looks back forward and goes, how have you been feeling about that?
Which which part? Are we talking about the fact that my coterie just disappeared out of nowhere? Oh, disappeared out of nowhere and then just left me behind? Or are we talking about there's some evil magic juju, black juju, juice like tentacles of hate? It came out and to find they killed people. They killed people to bring back Ricky. It was weird. Why you have to sacrifice someone to bring to go someplace? And I couldn't do that. It's, it was it was a lot's happening, Camille. A lot. It's weird. And I'm not. Yeah, I'll be honest. I kind of don't feel like I belong, cause it. See, everyone has a clan. Like they have like so what they belong to. So one's like there's Elijah, Michaela, is Sakura. They regularly hang out together because they're toreadors, and then or the relationship they have is like kind of like placed based upon what was given to them, like Kenny and crap. I forgot what Michael's character's name. uh,
Quinn.
Quinn, yeah, Kenny and Quinn, like they're kind of like a unique father and son. Oh, sire. Like he calls him dad sometimes, which is unique, but it's okay. I think I call Layla mom sometimes too. But it feels like everyone has this circle, this connection that they have because of who they are, and I'm kind of like the one left out because I don't really belong with anyone. So I don't know. I feel weird.
Camille's eye twitched very heavily at the reminder that his group had left him behind. But she doesn't comment directly on that because it's done. It's over. There's nothing she can do about that. And she's too pragmatic to try to give empty platitudes for something that's in the past. But she nods along to show him that she's listening. And sometimes, Sora, being special comes at a price. You're special. I know you didn't ask to be special. And I know you didn't ask for this, but this is the card you've been dealt. And with it, maybe you don't have the same types of connections everybody else does, but that doesn't mean you can't have any connections. And, if you want them, if you have them, they might just take a little bit longer to build, but you shouldn't lose hope that they can happen. And for that, you could have great power. And with that power, and with your abilities, should you be able to grow into them, you can use them to protect people that you care about, that you'll have right then. And until then, she thinks about Layla, and she thinks about the promise that she made and the way that she has grown to care for Sora. And internally, she thinks this is way too much emotion for one day, but because until then, you belong to me. We're clan. You don't have no one. But the entire time she's like staring very rigidly straight ahead, still focused on the task, but it's like given him the kind enough glance that he knows, hopefully, that she means it, that she is there beyond the promise that she made.
Want to roll a composure check?
Oh no!
I was just, yeah, I was like, wait a second, let me see. So,
Oh no!
he hears that statement, and there's clearly like red liquid is just like forming up on the side of his cheeks. And then as he does so, even though he knows that we're supposed to be focusing on the task ahead, he definitely just reaches over and just gives you a giant hug as like tears just kind of like goes down his cheek. He says, "Thank you,
Camille,
Ah,
your senses are very keenly focused right now. I
oh
need you
shit,
to roll
oh,
6 dice for me, please.
please don't hunger frenzy."
Deep emotional moment.
And then no.
How many dice did you say?
6.
Oops. Okay, I rolled so 6 and up is a pass. I have
Mm-hmm.
only failures. 3, 5, 4, 4, 4, 4, 2. Sorry, 4, 4, 4, 2.
Sora, you are hugging Camille. And Camille, this is a bit of a soft, tender moment. But the scent of Sora's vitae coming from his eyes is intoxicating. Absolutely intoxicating. Sora, you feel Camille's hug get quite a bit tighter. Quite a bit tighter.
Meal?
Camille, you feel the beast stirring within you as you very rapidly bite into Sora's neck.
Oh no!
Fuck.
I
Right.
need you to, as this vitae fills your mouth, you have never tasted anything like it, nothing like it in your entire unlife. The age that you are, a specific burden that you are aware that you carry, is that your hunger can only ever be sated fully with the death of another kindred. I need you to roll me one more willpower roll of 6 dice.
Oh God, do not kill this child in his epilogue. Oh, thank God. Okay. 2 successes.
2 successes. 2 successes is enough to not drain him completely. However,
Oh no.
Sora, by the time Camille manages to come back to her senses and push herself off of you, you find that you are at 4 hunger.
You should have killed that second fucking rabbit.
No, 4 hunger?
Your eye that is covered under the do-rag starts to bleed.
When he notices, he kind of like pushes back and he's just like scared entirely. And he looks up, he's like, and then when he feels the liquid just like growing in the top of the forehead, he's just like, oh no, no, not now. I gotta go. And he's just going to try to run as fast as he can, just somewhere. He doesn't know where. He just knows he needs to get away because it's going to get really bad really quickly. Really bad really quickly. I
Sora
think
is
you probably was Sorry Leap. Yeah, you probably was Sorry Leap away as well. They gotta try to help with
Sora is leaping in through the trees.
that.
Camille, what are you going to do?
Well, when I can finally wrench myself off of Sora and I am appropriately horrified with what has happened, not necessarily because it's a shock or, by far the first time that that's happened. Just you live long enough, it happens. And were it anyone else, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. It would still not be great, just self-disappointment and the lack of composure, especially after so long is heavy, but it wouldn't be as big of a deal between people of a certain age anymore because it happens to the best of us. But after that moment with Sora, she is extremely disappointed. Just I'm very disappointed in myself, but also still pragmatic. I don't have time to be disappointed in myself. I don't have time to dwell on this. I have to keep an eye on Sora because, yeah, I've taught him now to hunt for himself, but that's in an ideal situation. I haven't dealt with how to control yourself if you're in a frenzy or how to, hunt when you can't think as straight. But so I try to, especially now that I'm quite happily satisfied. Probably from the snack that I just had. So I focus all of my senses on following him, but making sure that it doesn't. That I'm trying to school my face to while I'm focused, not look like I'm hunting him to kill him.
Yes.
And I call out to him, and I know I'll explain it later, but I call out just his name in a calm, soothing voice to make sure that he can hear that I am myself again.
Sora, you are leaping through the trees. You are simply going through a direction and you are finding yourself jumping without thought from branch to branch as fast as you can, and you are very hungry. Very, very hungry. I need you to make me a let's make it a wits and awareness roll for me, please.
Okay. Wow, I was not expecting this. Okay, wait, this is go inside. Oh, there we go. Okay, great. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't add my. Wait, would I have? Yeah, I definitely would have. Heightened Senses up. That's for sure. Let me go
Yeah.
ahead and. Oh, 5 successes. Okay.
You do hear the voice of Camille ringing out. And what I want you to do is make a composure and resolve roll for me, please.
Okay. Not as high, but we shall see. Really dice. Okay. 1, 2. All right, I'm using willpower for that one too. Okay. 4 successes.
You're managing to catch that the voice of Camille is calm and steady. If your heart could beat, it would be racing, but you're able to help yourself relax just a little bit. You are very hungry, but you are aware that with the bane of your clan, or the curse of your clan, that this likely was not Camille's intention or fault. Beneath the tree which you have found, or in the tree that you have found yourself, you spot just in the tree in front of you what appears to be a resting owl that is about to take flight. You jump, catch it, bite into its neck as you land on the ground and drain this owl without a moment's hesitation, bringing you down to 3 hunger. As your third eye stops bleeding, you quickly wipe yourself clean of all traces of vitae and slowly make your way back to where Camille is, as she has been following you at a decent pace.
Hey, you see him walk forward. He definitely has like his shoulders slumped, his head down, and he's just constantly like keeps tapping his forehead just to make sure that nothing is leaking out. And then he doesn't look at you face to face. He just kind of like looks at you at from like your boots, and then when he can see your boots there, he just kind of stops. He says, "It's all right. You, you're better now."
Camille's heart is like just clenched. She feels because now she's not scared for him anymore. She doesn't have to be in make sure Sora does not accidentally kill himself mode. So now she can feel the resulting feelings of what happened. And while she knows it wasn't necessarily anyone's fault, she is still upset with herself that she allowed herself to be distracted while using her abilities at such an extent that led her to lose control. And she is of an older time, so she kneels in front of him and like takes one of his hands very gently, very slow motions, and says, "I'm so sorry. I won't let that happen again. Promise.
And from that, he kind of looks up. Oh, okay. Promise, what? Yeah, thank you. That's why I feel like now why we always have to be alone because of problems like that.
And she does look up again, and she stands up. She's holding his hand. She has a little bit of a more firm grip on it, not scary firm, just like, hey, pay attention to me. And she goes, no, you will not have to be alone because of this. I will just have to be more aware of it. That's not on you. And then she gives him a smash, so let's go. And she like nudges him a little bit to like try and get him to smile. It's like, because that's what clan does. We work around each other. You just need me to be more vigilant. Over 100 years old, I can be more vigilant.
Camille, looking around you, you do notice that Sora was basically going in a straightforward line to where the tracks would have been leading. You see that you are actually close to an overhang in the cliff. You can smell what it is you are looking for. An old friend.
All right. So she does give him like one final hand squeeze, and like Neil's like kind of bends a little bit to look him in the eyes, to make sure that he sees that hers are genuine, that she means it. She's not going anywhere. And she gives him one final squeeze, and then, you know, that emotionally constipated universal pat on the back, and goes, "Okay, come on. I think I have someone to meet. Follow me." She pursues the tracks and scents that she's picked up.
Leading Sora up this slight embankment into an overhang, you find that there is a smallish cave that is here. Inside, once you arrive, there is the person you're expecting. This is one of the only Black Panthers that is found within the state of Louisiana. You made friends with her many years ago. And to your surprise, you see that she is at the moment nursing some cubs.
Can we talk?
Noticing you do have the ability to talk to animals. Noticing that you arrive, the panther walks up to you and nuzzles her head against you in greeting. She has not seen you in quite some time.
Right. So my hands go to the soft fur behind the ears, because cat is cat and they all like it. And I give her scritches, and then as a sign of respect, I also kneel down so we're closer at eye level. And I cup her head and I go, "Look at you, pups. How have you been?"
Good. Who is your friend?
He's kind of my pup. And Camille gestures for Sora to come closer. This is Sora. This is my friend. Wait, what's the panther's name? Does Panther have a name? Do they do names?
She does not have a name that would be spoken in English or any other human tongue. It's more like a saint, but you might have a nickname for her.
Yeah, I was thinking Might have had a nickname. I famously am very bad at naming pets. So
Let's just call her Athena for now.
yeah, let's call her Athena. That works. See, you're good at naming things. My first dog's name was Puppy. I think we're good. This is my friend Athena. And then Athena, this is Sora.
Sora will kind of walk forward, his hands in his pockets as he bends down. He kind of looks at her in the eye. Says, "Oh wait, I have to use so it's Feral Whispers. So I have
Feral
to,
Whispers, yes.
yeah, I have to actually roll for this.
Oh, it's a rouse check.
Right? Oh no, that's not good.
Please.
uh, yeah, you just a little bit hungrier.
So you're back. Okay.
Oh,
So
back
should have
up
had
to
you
alright.
feed more.
Yeah.
It's all right. You're
Yeah.
for the purposes of this, people have maintained their composure. Camille has smelt the extra vita in the air, but she's wrangled herself for now. And she knows you probably need to eat again. It is a very touching moment as you are introduced to Athena and her cubs. And Camille, you know the other reason why you had brought Sora here was because things like this might happen. That what happened with you. And you have a gift that you would like to teach him.
Right. So we spend some time with Athena and the pups. Because I mean, baby animal is baby animal. And since Athena and I are close, I get to be near her pups, Laura gets to be near her pups. We catch up very briefly as Athena, especially as a wild creature, is aware of our wild creature natures and that we have business to attend to. But it's nice to see her and catch up and exchange pup introductions. So we leave her with a promise to speak again before we leave and to not let so much time pass between meetings. And I take Sora just a little bit away from the cave, but not too far, because I lead him out and I say, I want to show you something. There's something I can teach you, but before I teach you this, you have got, and she like grabs him by the chin and goes like, look in my eyes, like, you have to promise me you will not show this to anyone without asking me and only me for permission first. Promise.
Recap. You said, do not show anyone this skill that you're teaching. See, I just want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah,
Do not,
like
do
don't
not
share.
teach anyone or
Yeah,
share
don't
it.
teach
share.
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't teach
basically.
this
Use
anyone.
it.
Oh,
You
okay.
should use it.
but
Absolutely use it, but you cannot show
Okay.
people what I'm going to show you, which is how to do it.
Okay, so I can use it, but I can't. Okay,
Right.
that's the thing I was trying
Don't
to
teach it.
verify. I was like, I can't.
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So Sora would kind of look up. He kind of like wipes the blood off of the top of his forehead. It says, "I promise." What are you going to show me?
Okay. There is an ability. I've been very lucky to learn. It is a type of blood sorcery. And it is a type of blood sorcery that usually, well, nobody can really do it anymore that much. The Tremere, they don't know how to do this. It was taught to me by a line of warriors, Lubri. And I think it's only right that I teach it to you. This is a very, very rare sort of blood sorcery. It's called the Path of Aries. And so they have to exchange vitae, they have to exchange blood And
You would give
since
him a bit of blood, yes.
yeah, so she takes one of her little nails and gets a little bit of blood to exchange. And they and she's already got plenty of his. So step one already taken care of. But they exchange the vitae, and she says some words in ancient Greek, and they go through the steps necessary to teach him how to use this skill, this the Path of Aries. Do you need me to explain the Path of Aries? Because I think you might be able to explain it better.
Yeah, I'm actually not familiar with this myself.
Kira, Sora, this is a set of abilities that will be able to augment your speed and your ability to defend others and to defend yourself, to move faster, to inspire confidence and dispel fear in yourself. And as Camille teaches you these words and incantations, we are going to fade out on our scene for this evening. However, Sora, as well, for your events and trials of this time you're in the forest, you may also gain one extra dot in survival.
yeah.
Thank
Okay.
God.
Thank you all very much for joining us on this very special episode of Blood on the Bayou, Epilogue 4, Protect the Innocent. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you next time.